See, I feel like it's time for us to like go away from here, you know what I mean? I've been thinking about it for a long time. See, let's go to Africa.
Shit, nigga, please, be for real.
Yo, I've never been more serious in my life. I mean, we've been to the islands, we've been everywhere. Who says we can't go to Africa? That's all we ever talk about. That's our dream, to go to our homeland, where our roots are.
In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach.
We're taking our talents to Africa.
To Africa. To Ghana.
What? What? Oh my God, this is big news.
Open your eyes.
When I opened my eyes, I couldn't believe it. Africa, for real. I felt like I never really seen clouds before. I felt like the sky was a different color blue, the trees a different color green, and the people too. The people were beautiful. It felt right. It was harmony, like I wasn't far from home. It's like a whole new beginning.
Good day, I'm Dale.
And I'm Dacia.
Welcome to Off the Wheel. Off the Wheel is the name of our YouTube channel where we inspire and recruit other Black Americans who may be thinking about getting off of the wheel that is America and moving to Ghana or somewhere else in Africa. We ask you to ask yourselves the question, why wouldn't your life be better in Africa? Each month, we hope to bring you content that's useful and actionable as we grow our community. It's our goal to bring over 10,000 Black Americans just like us. And by that I mean excited to be here, committed to spending our money with native vendors and businesses, ready to pool our capital together to invest in Ghana businesses and or real estate. All in all, we want to make positive impact in the places we live by coordinating and maximizing Black American capital for housing, investments, and other opportunities in Ghana. Through this channel, we hope to demonstrate with our own personal journey that you can do it as well. And if we can make your move easier, all the better.
So before we get started, subscribe to our channel and hit the notification button so every time we upload a video, you're ready to watch right away. And if any of this resonates with you, you should consider joining our group by going to www.offthewheel.info and choosing a group that makes sense for you. We also like to say thank you to our new and also to our loyal subscribers. We've reached about 2,800 as of today. And it's about a year since we've been doing this channel, so we really appreciate you all who are watching.
So yes, please join our group. And then again, in our membership group, we go into greater detail about various opportunities. Today, actually, we're revealing our investment matrix. This is where we keep you informed on the projects we're evaluating. the projects that we are investing in ourselves, the projects that we eventually promote to you, and also the projects that don't work out. So today you can see we're actually testing out an agricultural project as we have invested in a yam farm. If after we invest and a profit is worth discussing, we'll promote this as an opportunity that you should consider. We're also evaluating a transport ride opportunity that could be one way you secure an income stream. We are soon to be entertaining a cement and a snail farm opportunity. And we already have expertise in Airbnb real estate, so we can share our expertise in that area. We're planning a large real estate development project as well, and all of this will be touched on in our YouTube channel, but for more detailed information, please join our membership group. Also, if you're new to the channel, I would say go back to the first season, episode 1, season 1, so that you can follow our journey. Now, in our last video, we gave you a list of things to do when moving to Ghana as soon as you get off the plane so that you can maneuver like you need to. In this video, we're making suggestions about what Ghana could do that would make the process of not just moving, but visiting Ghana more efficient. Ghana has created the Year of Return campaign, asking diasporans to come back home. Some of us did. I'm not sure if Ghana was totally prepared for the people that accepted that invite.
Kind of like when you tell your neighbor to come by anytime and they actually do. But before we start, we want to share our Airbnb with you. Our guests enjoy staying with us because it's more of a homey feel than staying in just a hotel.
Yeah, so the hotels, you know, they're in all fancy parts of town. So staying with us gives you more of a real feel to Ghana. So take a look.
Traveling to Ghana? Do we have a stay for you? Off the Wheel is offering modern, comfortable, and safe apartment units, where beyond the usual tourist activities, you have the benefit of a more immersive experience. We provide a unique itinerary to explore local food and neighborhoods, visit nearby beaches, shop markets, and so many other attractions. Whether you're traveling solo or in a group, we can service from 1 to 16 travelers. Enjoy on-premise activities like a gym, tennis, pool, and more. Hosted by 2 former Brooklynites recently relocated, who'll be your on-premise attendants to support and guide you.
We can't wait to show you what life could be like off the wheel.
Looking forward to hosting you.
See you in Ghana. And we are back. So we need to make a disclaimer. Number 1, we love Ghana. Number 2, it was the best decision we have made together as a couple, I would argue. Number 3, we hope to bring more people here, or at least their capital. But the purpose of this video is to speak to policy improvement. This video is simply to point out areas that could be improved for incoming expats. I think what happens is that policymakers create the rules and design the process, but never really go through it themselves.
Yeah, I mean, our Ghanaian friends were actually shocked when they learned about what we had to go through just to get certain of these documents.
Generally speaking, there is no one central place for information. We had to rely on a patchwork of hearsay, rumors, and people who had done it already. We have heard from visitors, especially older visitors, how hard many of the online processes were and how hard the application processes are. Now, we do want to highlight all of the changes that have been made that are great, like the Office of Diaspora Affairs.
Yes.
So there are efforts being made, but we hope to improve the process with our take on what's needed. So we are presenting this list in reverse order of both complexity and importance. So let's get started.
So number 7, the driver's license.
Driver's license. So the requirements for foreigners are vague and open to potential abuse. For example, we were directed to pay a fee at a local DVLA branch that ended up being a non-existent fee. So, what's the fix? The government should have this information centrally located somewhere on their website, or maybe have a brochure with this information, say at the airport, and the information would contain the process of going straight to the headquarters where you went with your license, your driving record from back home, your residency permit, and the fee for the license. All of this information should be in a brochure that's widely disseminated. Okay, on to the next. Number 6, the Ghana phone. What's the main problem? The biggest challenge is just being unfamiliar with how different pricing on airtime minutes and data are from wherever you come from. Also, the terminology used for phone packages takes a little time to get used to. Also, understanding how the rest of the world, and Ghana here in particular, combines their phone carrier with WhatsApp. This is unusual in America.
So what's the fix for that?
It would be nice, again, if the government had a brochure with all of this information. Or even the government could do a partnership, say, with Vodafone or MTN, sort of like a joint venture informational campaign. Now, we know the most efficient way is to get a SIM card for your Ghana phone even before you make the trip from back home. So if you buy your separate Ghana phone back home and then put your SIM card into it, that could save you some time getting up and running. But do remember, in order to have a SIM card in your phone, you need the Ghana card as well. But if you can't do that, I would suggest the next day you get in, get up early, take your Ghana phone to the mall, get in line at your phone carrier. We use Vodafone. Make sure you have your phone registered. If you don't, the phone carrier will eventually cut your service off. It would be nice if we didn't have to learn this the long and hard way. This is the kind of information a joint venture with the government and major phone carriers could collaborate on.
So number 5 is the Ghana card. So what's the problem?
In the previous video, you heard our horror stories about what it took for us to get all of our items. We ended up going to so many places because there's no place on the internet where you can download, let's say, a checklist of what you'll need. So the main problem is, unless you talk to someone who's gone through the process, like us, it will take a lot of trial and error to figure it all out.
So what's the fix for that one?
In this same government brochure, the government could say the best place to go is Cal Bank on Independence Ave. The government would also allow you to download the application before you came into the office. This alone would save 30 minutes. So far, that's 3 very important things in this government brochure, this one little brochure. So on to the next. Number 4, opening a bank account. To open a bank account in the States, you need ID and a proof of residence, just where you're living. You can prove that with a utility bill or a cable bill, but in Ghana, you need residency permit, Ghana ID card. What's the main problem? One problem is that sometimes even your Ghana bank will give you incorrect information. Take us, for example. So in Ghana, you open 2 accounts at your bank. One in Ghana currency, CDs, and the other account is a dollar account. When we opened our dollar account, we were told that if we wire US dollars from the States into our dollar account, that it would be automatically converted to Ghana CDs. This turned out to be not true. You can wire US dollars into your Ghana bank. The only issue is they will charge you a 3% fee. So imagine wiring in $100,000 and being charged 3% or $3,000. So although you can do it, I don't know who would do it.
So again, what's the fix for that?
The government could make this much easier. The government should allow foreigners to open a bank account with just a criminal record printout from back home, up-to-date visa, of course, but also a visa with a long expiration date on it, and a minimum of 2,500 US dollars, where 1,000 US dollars could be locked up for 1 year. So basically, less paperwork and more financial commitment from foreigners.
So number 3, visa on arrival. So what's the main problem? Now, for the visa on arrival, we saw the sign for visa on arrival when we came into Kotaka last September. And we knew someone who had done it and paid a few $100s or so to get it done. But the details were not really shared with us. It was a little vague. I found it strange that when I contacted the Ghana embassy in the US via email, I was told there was no visa on arrival. Furthermore, the Ghana government made an announcement in December 2022 that, and I quote, it will issue visa on arrival for travelers entering the country from the December 22nd, 2022 to January 15th, 2023. I also read, and I quote, the Ghana Immigration Service has introduced this visa policy to cater for visitors/business people who travel at short notice from countries where Ghana has no mission or consulate. The policy authorizes visas to be granted on arrival at the airport or other entry points subject to satisfaction of specific immigration requirements. So if looking at these statements alone, then that would imply that for most travelers, especially from the US, that there is no clear availability of visa on arrival. So generally, we recommend going through the normal visa process to avoid issues at the airport. That being said, we've had some challenges when applying for the regular visa, and so did a lot of people that we've spoken to. The visa application process requires that documents and pictures be uploaded and attached to the application, whether the document it's a doc or a JPEG. Sometimes the documents will not attach if the size is too big. Many travelers we've spoken to are frustrated that the process is not for the tech-savvy or older visitors.
So in this case, the question is, what can the embassy do?
Well, applicants for the visa process should be allowed to send the hard copies for the process instead of uploading. This is more of a difficult task for the embassy, I understand, but it would require maybe an earlier application process and maybe the exemption for just applicants that are over a certain age. For the visa on arrival misconception, it would just be a marquee on the website stating that there is no visa on arrival except ... The information is not prominent enough. I feel like there could be maybe an automatic email sent to all applicants of the visa to Ghana stating some, frequently asked questions, or even on the embassy website itself titled, could have a prominent button that says, moving to Ghana, be sure to do these things. It could be just a landing page. Put all the information in one place so there's no room for misunderstanding, misinterpretation. it just like seems like most travelers all have the same questions.
I would also add that because the embassy knows the average turnaround time to process an application, they should optimize their website so that if you begin the application process on a particular date and that date is too close to your travel time, application rejected. And the application forces you to go to an expedited page on the website. Okay, on to the next. Number 2, starting a business in Ghana. What's the main problem? Lots of Black Americans are curious to know what the rules are in Ghana for setting up a new business. Many Black Americans want to possibly bring their current American business here to Ghana. Unfortunately, the current requirements are impossible to meet for most small businesses. Take the States, where small business is the backbone of America. In fact, when talking about small business, defined as less than 500 workers, there are 33 million small businesses. That's 99% of all business in America. And then you have microbiz, which is defined as fewer than 10 workers. There are millions of those micro businesses as well. I would like the Ghana government to know that in America, you can start a business in one day. How? Number 1, incorporate your company in your state on the state website. $125, 10 minutes. Number 2, apply for a federal EIN number for free, 10 minutes. Number 3, get a mailing address, $50, 30 minutes. Number 4, secure a phone number, $20, 30 minutes. Number 5, open up a bank account, free, 30 minutes. Number 6, get a website up, $20, 30 minutes. If you start at 8 a.m., you might be finished before lunchtime. Now, not so in Ghana. From what I've been able to determine, for foreigners looking to establish a business in Ghana, if you want to own your company 100% yourself, you need to start it with 500,000 US dollars, which was lowered from $1 million. If you partner with a local Ghanaian who will get at least 10%, you'll need $200,000. If the company was created outside of Ghana and you intend to have an office in Ghana, you can skip the capital requirements, but the registration fees will be around 12,000 US dollars. There are also protected industries where foreigners are not allowed to even open up shop. Some of them are flea market vending, Uber taxi, driver businesses, beauty salons and barbershops, stationery shops, lottery businesses. So where does that leave us? The capital requirements are too much. And this benefits large businesses, which tend to be not us, like Palace, ShopRite, and furniture stores that are here in Ghana. With some minor changes, Black American small businesses in Ghana would be us coming over here, hiring, and dare I say, treating Ghanaian workers better than other people coming to do business here. There are lots of Americans who already have businesses or have money to start a business here in Ghana. And it would be good to employ Ghanaians, so it should be easier for us to open a business.
So what's the fix?
So I would like to suggest to the Ghana government to reduce the upfront capital requirements from $500,000 to $5,000. Then charge $1,000 each year for the first 5 years. And if you've hired 5 or more Ghanaians, you don't have to pay that fee anymore. But if you didn't, you keep paying that $1,000 for each year. And for those other industries that are off limits for Americans, let's just take barbershops, for example, change it so that Americans can open barbershops. But they have to front all the money and give, let's say, 4 Ghanaians 5% of the company each. with some performance safeguards. Of course, I mean, we can't have any freeloaders, but we need to encourage capital to flow into this country. We need to streamline capital to find its new home here in Ghana. We need to incentivize businesses like other people who come to Ghana with their multi-year tax exemptions. We won't say any names. Also in other countries, the quickness of your residency being approved is related to what kind of capital you bring in. If you're starting a business, your application should be expedited by 1 week. Okay, on to the next.
So number 1, that's a residency permit. This is by far the most important document to obtain, especially if you are planning to relocate to Ghana. You cannot open a bank account without it. You cannot get a Ghana driver's license without it. If you don't get this, you have to keep renewing your visa every few months. So we reviewed this in our last video, but let's just take another look. What's needed to get your residency permit? A letter requesting residency from the applicant. Letter from the Office of Diaspora Affairs is recommended. Birth certificates. Lease agreement or land indenture in the applicant's name. Marriage certificate. 2 to 3 months of bank statements in our case, from our US banks. Letter of good standing, that's a criminal record. Letter of support from 2 Ghanaian citizens. Bank statements of said Ghanaian citizens. Passport of Ghanaian citizen who also has to come with you to immigration when you start your application. Plus 2 passport size photos. The head of household medical exam, 1,400 Ghana cedis. Head of household COVID test, 200 Ghana cedis. Permit fee, 300 Ghana cedis. These fees go up, so just use that as a ballpark. Now, the hardest part of the process was for us feeling, comfortable enough to ask someone to write this letter for us on our behalf. And also to produce their bank statements, but more so to take time out of their day to come with us and wait at immigration.
That's a lot to ask, but so what's the fix?
A fix for this process would be to have appointment scheduling so that once you get there, we're seen, taken care of, and if not in an office, at least a semi or private space. When we went, all of their dealings kind of took place in a large waiting room with people all doing different types of processes. And there was no set time or streamlined process to move us through. Forms to fill out online or to print out and prepare before we arrived there would have been helpful. And there was no place to write or sign documents that were given to us in the waiting room. So there was no place for any type of privacy at all. I mean, this process leaves lots of room for donations to happen in order to expedite the process, because your frustration starts to set in after a while. So that would be some of my suggestions.
So great. I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's about it for now. I mean, just some solutions to the main obstacles, expats have in trying to move to Ghana. We hope this information was helpful to you.
We hope the government take these suggestions into consideration. Now, we have no connection, so if any of you watchers out there can get this video to some government official, please do so. In the meantime, we will share all of this information on our website under our page offthewheel.info/season 2 episode 5. And we do know the government is making progress, but I think it's important to continue to give them feedback from our point of view. so they can make it more and more streamlined for those of you out there who are making plans to relocate. Maybe the government should create a task force of, say, 25 of us to consult them on these matters. But we will have to end this discussion here.
So thank you for watching. Join our membership group. Follow us on Instagram.
And as always, like I say, if you're in town, please stop by for a coffee. Come on by. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
You grooving, Africa. You grooving, Africa. The music, Africa. You moving, Africa. You wear clothes, Africa. You wear clothes, Africa. You dancing, Africa. You dancing, Africa. You prancing, Africa. You prancing, Africa. Romancing, Africa. You going, Africa. You going, Africa. You going, Africa. Yeah.